bird will never be what it's supposed to be until it leaves the nest and leaves its comfort zone. Of all the birds, sometimes you'll have swallows or something. Little baby bird goes out of the nest and they'll fall to the ground to die. That never happens with eagles. Because when the mom eagle knocks that baby bird out of the nest and it struggles, if it doesn't fly, we'll be like Gideon. Content in bad situations. In the bottom of the wine press, throwing itself up just to watch it fall back down. Throw it up just to watch it fall back down. We'll be content. I have problems with self-esteem. You know how hard it is. I can't even listen to myself on the live stream preach because it makes me cringe so bad. I can't think about anything when I'm leading the singing because I will start thinking about how testimonies and you've got something to say and you go, they might think I'm weird if I stand up and say anything, or I might say it wrong. You need to stand up and testify. Amen. Get out of your comfort zone. Even if you say, I want to thank God. The dog would run and hit the end of the chain and just jerk to a stop. That's the way God did with me. The fact of the matter is, when God puts a calling on your life, you're not going to be able to hit. And they were being hunted down and killed, and they scattered to every point of the globe. But it was like having a little fire, and you try to stomp it out, and you're spreading the sparks everywhere else. They went all over the world. And Paul, they were able to, when he went on a missionary journey, he took them with him, his husband and wife team. They did great things for the cause of Christ because God moved them out of. You want to just keep them in their little cage and keep them happy and fed. They don't have any kind of struggles, they don't have any kind of problems because the owner takes care of them. You're God's child. I stood up and said, God, I'm going to do what you want me to do, even if I feel uncomfortable. Then guess what? I never grow as God wanted me to be. Amen. God pushed me out of the nest. I'd serve him. Amen. The children of Israel got comfort in slavery. They whined when God took them out. You realize how stupid and messed up that is? They were in slavery. Every day they were forced to make bricks for Pharaoh. And they were like, oh, this is horrible. I got to sit here and stop this. Hey, it's awful. God sent it to really good food. They had a Papa John's, they had all this other stuff. And all we have is manna. The whole point of the thing is they grew comfortable in their slavery. And God had to break them out of the. Had to push them out of the wilderness. He had to wait for the old guard to die off for them to enter the promised land. You see it again. They grew complacent and started to sin, and God allowed the enemies to come in, and then God allowed them to be defeated and so on. But the fact of the matter is, in all these things, God was pushing them forward. God had a purpose and a plan for them. Like the clay in the potter's hands, God will use circumstances and situations to mold. You need to realize that if you're sitting around in your comfort zone, it might be time before the mama bird kicks you out of the nest. It might be time for you to say, hey, mama, I'm going to jump out of the nest.